Hello viewers, welcome to Scientific Investing. And before we start the video, one important announcement. So I'll be participating in a roundtable conference, which is scheduled on 18th of December at 4 p.m. This is a free to attend event and this is organized by FinLearn, which is a part of MK Global Financial Services. And I'll be sharing dice with Mr. Krishna Kumar Karwasar, who is MD of MK Global. And we are going to discuss a very interesting topic. If you see nowadays, there is a lot of IPOs coming, and there are a lot of disruptive companies, disruptive business models which are coming. But then these companies are not making profit, and this is not an India phenomenon. This is a phenomenon which is there across the globe, including US and all. So we will be speaking on topics related to IPOs, related to the new age investments, how the investing landscape has changed, and how to go about it. So I am putting the registration link here. Also, I put the registration link in the description. It's a free to register event. Feel free to register and attend the event. So see you there. Hello viewers, hope you are doing good. And I hope you liked our yesterday's videos on the multi-bagger series, where we try to understand how companies destroy wealth for investors. If you have not seen the video, you can see in this link. Do subscribe to our channel, do like it so that our channel comes higher in the YouTube algorithm, and it can get more views. Now coming to today's video, so we are starting a new series which we are calling SI Bytes. And in SI Bytes, we will have different info bytes like funda bytes, or we will have technical bytes, or we will have quant bytes. The whole idea of creating this is I get lots and lot of questions on Twitter, on YouTube, on things related to investing, and many times some of these questions are not very advanced questions. These questions are by people who are just starting their journey, like in terms of what are top 5 books I read, or top 5 tools I use, or what are the top 5 metric I should use to evaluate companies and all of that. So I thought to bring this concept of SI Bytes, where we can make small 10-15 minute video modules to answer some of those questions around overall investing, or fundamental investing, or technical investing. So with that, we will start today's SI Byte, and the topic is why do I like fundamental analysis, technical analysis, and quants. And again, some of you may find all these things very, very basic. So, in case you find the topic basic, you can skip the video. And we will continue making the videos on, stock and sector and all of that, like we have been doing. So the topic, why fundamental, technical, and quants, because, in the market, there are different kind of views. Some people say that, if you have fundamental conviction, you don't need to look at chart. Then there is a section of people who say, charts tell the story better than fundamental. Charts can tell what good or bad fundamentally is going to happen, and hence you have to rely only on charts. And then there is a third section which says quants and algorithms are the most powerful, and everybody is having a system, and we do algorithm trading and all. Now, in my view, as a guy who looks at data, I find relevance in all three, but they serve a different purpose. And because they serve a different purpose, that is the reason why I like three of them, because they bring different kind of value to the table. So what is the differentiated value they bring to the table? In order to answer that, it is very, very important to first answer this question: why stocks go up or down? Because this whole logic of using funda, technical quants, all is related to creating wealth in the market. Whether you create it through trading or investing doesn't matter, but ultimately you have to generate wealth. So they have to contribute in wealth generation, and wealth generation means the movement of price, because that is what will decide whether you created wealth or you destroyed wealth. So the first and most important question to answer this is why prices go up and down. And if we look at why prices go up and down, there are two parts to it. There is one part which is the business performance, and there is a second part which is the speculative performance. Now, the business performance is more longer term in nature, and the speculative performance is more shorter term in nature. Also, the factors which drive the business performance is very, very different from the factors which drive the speculative performance. So the factors which can drive the business performance could be your, business growth, your return on capital, your business premium, your management premium, your market size opportunity, and a lot of other factors. Now, to understand these factors like how much growth, at what reinvestment rate, at what return on capital, how is the quality of management, how is the quality of business, is it a commodity business, how are the barrier to entries. Now, to answer these questions, to arrive at an expected rate of growth or business performance and all, we need to do the fundamental analysis. So the data which is there in the fundamental analysis, that data is there to solve the question of fundamental performance of the business, the long-term performance of the business, which could be next 1 year or 2 year or 5 year or 10 year. But the idea is to look at the performance, how much of earnings growth the business can do by analyzing all these things. And all this data is getting answered by your fundamental analysis. Now let us come to the speculative part. Now, speculative part depends on a lot of other factors which are different from fundamentals. It could be more short-term in nature, like a news, or it could be more like, who is dominating on a given day in terms of buyers and sellers, because it's a simple reason. Prices go up because there are more buyers, and prices go down because there are more sellers. It's typical with anything you buy and sell in the market. When you see there are too many buyers, the prices will go up, and if there are too many sellers, the prices will go down. And this same applies in stock market. And many times what can happen is because of the short term emotions of the market, whether it is greed or fear, the proportion of buyer versus seller keep changing. So technical analysis is basically, it's not like, many of us, we perceive technical analysis as chart analysis, like, it has formed lifetime high, or it has formed breakout, or it has formed, head and shoulder pattern, or it has formed triple bottom pattern, or there is support, there is a resistance. Whatever you see on the charts, they are nothing but they are a visual representation of change of equation between demand supply, between the buyers and the sellers. And when the buyers dominate, the prices go up. When the sellers dominate, the prices go down. So again, as somebody who looks at data, where fundamental data like your P&L, your balance sheet, your cash flows, your annual report, all of that contribute in building a mental understanding of the long-term earning potential of the company. The technical data of open price, high price, low price, close price, the volume, the delivery, and all of that, that tells you something about the demand and supply behavior of the bulls and the bears. And accordingly, whoever is dominating, you get a price going up or price going down. So this is the typical difference. And if you look, there are two very different things, but they contribute. As you go shorter and shorter in your, expectation of time frame, the technical side data becomes more important. And as you go longer and longer in your time frame, the fundamental side data becomes important. The third part which binds both of them is basically your nature of shareholders, your delivery, and all of the thing. Why I'm highlighting, because if there is a stock where the biggest buyer is somebody who is a high momentum trader, his behavior of buying and selling the stock will be very, very different from somebody who is a very, very long term investor, who like once takes his position, stays there for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So how the prices will shape up, how the charts will shape up, what will be the buy sell behavior, it will depend a lot on what kind of shareholders are getting into a type of stock and what are shareholders getting out. So these are the factors why fundamental analysis and technical analysis both are important, but they bring different kind of value depending on what is the time horizon, what is the aspiration you have while entering and exiting the stock. Now comes the third point, quants. What is the role of quants? So the role of quants is nothing but to substantiate with enough experimental data evidence that something is working or not working. Now let us say we told key in fundamental growth is important. But how do you say growth is important? Do you have historical evidence of data where you can say that companies which have grown at a higher rate have garnered higher PE, and companies which have grown at a lower rate have garnered lower PE? And how much growth? Like, do companies need to perform for 2 continuous years to get re-rated, or do they need to underperform for 2 continuous quarters to get de-rated? Or when it comes to technical data, people say that, you know, whenever your closing price is more than 200-day moving average, you should be bearish but bullish. But the moment it goes below 200-day moving price, you should sell and run away. Can we say historically from the data that out of 20,000 instances, whenever the closing price went above 200-day moving average, and if you invested and held it for 1 week, your return was X%, and when it went down below 200-day moving average, the returns were Y%. And you can see there is a big delta between X and Y, and hence we can say that yes, this hypothesis is true, because there are so many statements made in the market. But how do you prove those statements? And quants is the way to look at it. So now if you look at fundamental, technical, and quants, keeping all the biases aside in terms of what people say, but more from the data perspective, what is the data and what is the value they add? So you see, they three bring very different kind of value and skills to the table. And then it is up to a person whether he is interested in the long-term, fundamental performance, or he is interested in long-term, but he wants to time it in terms of when there are more buyers in the stock, so that, you know, he's able to time it and he doesn't fall into a situation where, you know, the sellers are dominating and price is going down. Or he doesn't care about fundamental, he's more concerned about 1, 2, 4, 5 days of behavior in the market, where a pure play understanding of this demand supply equation in terms of charts is more important. Or he's interested in a research activity where he wants to identify that if he has to build a system, or he wants to know that what will drive a stock price in long run or short run. If he is having 50 parameters, which are the parameters he should select, in what proportion, in what weightage, with what kind of value, then he can go to quants analysis. So these are the 3 areas, and these are the 3 different values which they bring to the table. It doesn't mean one is overlapping other, or one is right, other is wrong. So I hope now you appreciate what is the role of fundamental, technical, and quants. And why I'm starting with this topic is because in next few weeks, we will slowly start making videos on Funda Bytes, where we will cover some concept on fundamental. We will create something on technical bytes. So I thought, let's make this video, and this will, you know, set up a good foundation. So thanks for your time and happy weekend. Do keep watching our videos, liking us, subscribe us, and press the bell icon in case you have not done, so that, you know, the work gets reflected and recognized to more and more people through YouTube algorithm. Thanks for your time.